Hi guys, today I thought I would show you the Kris XL 50 that I recently got. Thank you, Mr. White. This was part of that free load of radios that I received about a month ago, I guess. This one here is a Kris XL 50. It has a lot of really neat features considering when it was made. This thing was made in the late 70s. I really like this feature. We have both. We have the analog channel display, and it has the digital display on it. It has some other really nice stuff. Let me put my glasses on so I can see too. We have a modulation meter, output watts, and signal in. When we get to the back of the radio, I'm going to show you something else that's back there that goes along with that meter. Alright, over here we have high and low. This is for the channel display. And I don't know if I can flip that switch with the pencil. Oh, yes I can. Let me go to the eraser end so it'll actually have a soft. But you see the channel, the number 40, it goes bright and dim. I'm assuming that's talkback. I haven't tried it yet. Actually, let's try it right now. Let me turn that volume up. Let's put it on talkback and see if that talkback works. I don't hear anything other than the scratchiness on my other radio. Well, maybe it's not talkback. TKBK. What do you think that could mean? Actually, I wonder if it has to have an external speaker for that to work. Could be. We'll have to try it again with an external speaker. This is for the speaker. It's internal or external. I don't have an external on it right now, so it goes quiet when I flip that switch. And we got CB and PA. And look at that. Isn't that cool? It shows in the channel display as PA. Alright, over here, this is actually a switch. It's on or off on the noise blanker. And the back one is a knob. That one's for the delta tune. You can see that under there, the delta tune. And just a standard squelch back here, RF gain. Actually, I got that wrong. The squelch is here, and the RF gain is back there. And on this side, we have the volume on the small knob and tone on the big one. I hadn't noticed that this has tone control. Oh yeah, listen to that. Let's turn that volume back down. It also has a dimmer knob. Check that out. We can make those lights go really bright or shut them right down. It goes so bright that look what it does to the camera. Let's turn it on just a little bit. That way the camera still sees correctly. In this corner, check that out. It's got a receive indicator. And when I key up the mic, it goes to transmit. And it's breaking the squelch on my other radio. Alright, let me turn this thing around. I'm going to shut it off and disconnect the wires and turn it around and show you the back side of this. It's got a cool feature on the back side. Do you see it yet? It has a hookup right here for an external S meter. So even though this thing has 3 meters on the front, and they're all nice big meters, you can still attach an external S meter to this one. And of course we have the PA speaker and the external speaker. Power in, well, I would rather see the three-prong plug. That was a tough one to get out. Because with this setup, as we can see, the wires don't always last very long. They end up getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Until finally you have to open the radio up and replace the wire inside. Let's see, what do we have? Made in Japan, not China. That's a good thing. Our antenna connector. And I don't know what used to be on that, but there was something that they didn't want removed. So what do you think? Should we open the thing up? This one, it's kind of a unique setup to open it up. You see these 4 screws here, up there and over here. Undo those 4, and then the radio just slips right out of the outer case. All right, I'm going to open that up and we'll take a peek inside. I'll bet you there's an awful lot going on inside of this one. Well, look at the craziness in here. Whew. Big speaker, too. Look at the size of that speaker. And the magnet on it. Usually you just have those little magnets like the size of your thumb. It is definitely jam-packed in there, isn't it? I was kind of surprised when I opened this one up. First, I slid the metal cover off, which is a good quality cover. Put that aside. And then under that cover is another metal shield that sits right on top and covers almost the whole thing. On the bottom side is the same thing, another metal cover, and it has a layer of clear plastic that goes between the cover and the circuit board. And you can see there, circle of glue to hold that plastic in place. Very important if you take apart a radio like this. Make sure you put the covers back in the right spot, because actually they are the same, aren't they? Yep, the covers are the same. But if you put this one on the circuit board side, you're most likely in time going to short it out, because it'll press and touch up against some of those. That's what the plastic's for. The plastic is to make sure that none of these solder points touch against the metal. Look at that good quality in this thing, though. They definitely went way out of their way designing and building this radio. I wonder if they made a sideband one. How cool would that be to have a radio like that with sideband? That is just a fantastic looking radio. It looks like a repairman's nightmare, though. Wow, is there a lot going on inside of this thing? There's some wear through. It makes it look like it has mold on it. It's just all scratches in the plastic. For all we know, it may have been like that since new. Alright, what do you say we hook this back up and we do a transmit and receive test with it? Let's hear how it sounds on the air. And how it receives, too. Okay, I have the radio on. I'm on channel 35. I have the squelch up and the RF gain down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to my garage and transmit back to this. And then we'll transmit from here to the garage. I just don't have the camera on down there yet, so I have to go down there first. So, we're going to set you to record, and we'll get to hear what this thing sounds like first, how its received sounds, and then we'll try the transmit.
Receive quality. I have the RF gain turned down on this Kris XL 50, and I'm transmitting not very far away. I'm transmitting in my garage to the Kris that's set up in my house on an indoor antenna. Okay, this is the receive test, and now we're going to stop this, and I'm going to switch positions and do a transmit test.
Alright, let's do a transmit test with this thing. I am keyed up on the air on the Kris XL 50, running off an indoor antenna and talking down to my unit end grant that I have set up in my garage. This is the Kris XL 50. Alright, let's go hear what that sounded like.
Alright, let's do a transmit test with this thing. I am keyed up on the air on the Kris XL 50, running off an indoor antenna and talking down to my unit end grant that I have set up in my garage. This is the Kris XL50.
Well, that old radio sounded pretty good on the air, didn't it? Even though I forgot to turn down the RF gain on my Grant, so this thing was blasting in on the Grant. I don't know if you'd noticed the meter. It was slammed as far to the right as it could go. That was my little goof up. Luckily on this radio, I was only using an indoor antenna that's right here in the room with me. So it didn't hit it real hard. And this radio is putting out, well, according to its own meter, let's see, 1.5 watts. I think it's actually doing more like 4. I did have this hooked up to a meter, and it's doing about 4 watts, I believe. But it sounded good on the air, and it seems to receive pretty well too. Even on this indoor antenna, I have heard a little bit on channel 19. I don't know if we'll hear any right now. Let's see, we have the RF gain down still, and the squelch up. Nah, no activity right now. Cool old radio though. I'm glad to have it and happy and proud to have this one in my collection. Thank you so much, Mr. White. I really, really appreciate the radios. All right, guys, I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.